There used to be an era when men were categorized into two distinct groups, alpha and beta males. While the betas were recognized for their ability to accept commands and follow the herd, the alphas were revered for their natural leadership abilities and impressive social competence. Yet as more years progressed, a different kind of man started to materialize out of the shadows. These guys don't fit the mold of alpha or beta, they're much more subtle than that. The emergence of Sigma guys gradually became a topic that everyone discussed, and it has now reached a fever pitch. Sigma men have always been there, but they have always lived on the outside of society and pursued their own interests. They're the ones who create the rules and those who violate them. Sigmas do not conduct their life according to the conventional order of social supremacy. Nevertheless, they do prefer to pursue their own path and do not accept commands from anyone, nor do they submit to the norms that are established by society. Still, they share some traits with the alpha males. Should you be interested in learning more about this enigmatic figure, the following are 9 interesting facts about Sigma men that you were probably unaware of. 1. They detest formality and bureaucracy. Sigma guys consider formalities to be a pointless endeavor since they are not very interested about fitting in with social groupings or attracting attention to themselves. As a result, many people get the incorrect impression that they are antisocial, but that's far from the truth. Sigma men detest chit-chats. They only engage in meaningful conversations with a select individuals they trust. These men are contented to remain in the shadows and participate without seeking the limelight, in contrast to alpha males who want to take control of every situation. They have no interest in talking about their lives or starting a discussion with someone they'll likely never meet again, which makes them consider chit-chat monotonous. You won't ever come across a Sigma standing in front of a group of people making jokes or trying to make them laugh only to grab their attention. They often may be seen a distance, probably at the corner, having a conversation with someone they consider to be worth it. And when they wish to make a contribution to the discussion, they won't yell out to get everyone's attention. They are able to make everyone pay attention in their unique style, which does not need them to be in the limelight. 2. They enjoy solitude. Whenever you encounter every Sigma man, you'll realize they like being alone regardless of their location. They are introverts who, in order for their thoughts to function correctly, need some space and a quiet environment. It is possible that this will create the impression that they are aloof, yet this isn't the case. Sigma guys place a high priority on their relationships since they are aware that they're unable to accomplish it all on their own. The only thing that sets them apart from other individuals is that they do not communicate their emotions in the same manner that others do. They like being in the presence of self-reliant and self-assured individuals since it eliminates the need to continually remind others around them of their commitments. Individuals who have had genuine connections with Sigmas are more likely to comprehend them and recognize that they have some close like-minded pals. Sigma men are aware of the steps required to keep a relationship going, and they are also aware of when it is appropriate to intervene. While they may give the impression that they do not care, they can be the most devoted friends and lovers you'll ever come across. 3. They stand up for what's right. This may not come as a surprise to you because you're already aware that a lot of individuals do not consider Sigmas to be the nice people, yet the situation is far more complicated than just that. While they may be highly protective of their beliefs or frigid about what they despise, how someone feels about Sigma men is determined by where they stand. For Sigma guys, everything boils down to doing what's right. They have the guts to stand by what they believe is right rather than stifling their emotions only to maintain an attachment with someone. These are not the sort of guys who will keep their mouths shut while supporting a cause that they believe to be without significance. Their allegiance resides not with fabricated standards or made-up philosophies, but rather with the beliefs and ideals that guide their behavior. This doesn't imply that they're evil men. Rather, it only indicates that they have the intestinal fortitude to act morally when the situation calls for it. When it comes to the people closest to them, Sigma males may also be quite sympathetic and empathetic. From a distance, they could give the impression of being aloof, yet within they might be excessively tender and soft. 4. They give every person equal treatment. The majority of individuals have a manner in which they interact with others. They utilize social hierarchies to evaluate the significance of others and then treat them differently depending on where they fall in that hierarchy. They have known this since they were little children and have developed a mature understanding of it. Sigmas, in contrast to other individuals, have a negative opinion of this system. They have no idea why individuals should be categorized and held to a different standard according to where they are in a power pyramid. Regardless of how significant Sigma men believe a person to be in the eyes of society, they will not accord them special respect better than others, particularly if they do not believe the person deserves it. They are aware of each person's ability, and because of this, they will provide equal opportunity to everyone. The friendship between two Sigma men will never influence the way any one of them treats the other. When there is someone who ought to hold a certain position, a Sigma man will ensure that they are placed there, regardless of what other people have to say. 5. They acknowledge the significance of silence. Sigma males are well known to be men of few words. They do not engage in idle chit-chats just to talk about insignificant matters. This is due to the fact that they are unwilling to expose themselves to any risk by divulging any information that may potentially put them in danger. They care less about meaningless conversations about other individuals and prefer to devote their attention to matters that have more significance. But just because they keep to themselves most of the time does not mean they are easily manipulated. Sigma guys have the ability to command attention simply by entering a room. This is in contrast to alpha males, who must communicate with authority in order to get public's attention. People are only drawn to them because of their aura, and their continual silence puts others at a distance. While others may be irritated because they believe Sigmas are haughty and arrogant, there is one element that these men understand that the majority of individuals are unaware of. They are aware that maintaining one's silence gives others the opportunity to expose every detail about themselves without jeopardizing one's position. It is important to remember that a Sigma man is not timid, despite the fact that his quiet may give such an impression. He will continue to stay one step ahead of you by waiting for you to talk until you utter something that you were not willing to. 6. They are excellent at adapting to various circumstances. Alpha men are known to easily take full control of any social circle or circumstance, yet there are occasions where it's not possible. Alpha men, when looked down upon, have a tendency to question their self-worth and start performing inadequately, while Sigmas do not exhibit this behavior. Sigma men are not concerned with seeking affirmation in order to perform their duties. If the situation calls for it, they are able to step up to the position of leadership, and if they are asked to stand aside so that someone else may take on that responsibility, they are able to continue to perform very well in other roles. Their perception of how much they are worth to themselves does not change. Many people have the mentality that if you aren't the leader, you're just nothing. Thus many of them do not comprehend this concept of self-worth. A Sigma, on the other hand, is well aware that without the assistance of the other members of the group, he cannot lead, and for this reason, he will always do his duties with the utmost care. Since Sigma guys are aware of when it is appropriate to shift their posture, they are consistently one step ahead of their competition. They are helpful members of any team because of how easily they can adjust to new circumstances. 7. they dislike living a secure existence. Sigma males are not afraid to take risks, but that doesn't mean they just go around imposing their authority or acting recklessly. They simply don't have a problem breaking a few rules or taking well-calculated risks, especially if it will benefit them. Sigma males also have the guts to do whatever it takes to see the plans yield results, even if it means going against the grain. They don't care what society says and would rather take a chance and face the consequences than live a mediocre life. Sigma men are not afraid to stand out from the crowd. They don't want to blend in like everyone else. Instead, they prefer to carve their own path and make their own rules. However, they will blend in only if it suits their purpose. While it's easy for alpha male to seek and be the center of attention, Sigma men are excellent in the shadows. They don't need praise or recognition from anyone, they just want to get things done. They don't like to follow the same routines or do the same thing every day. The thought of living a life where everything is safe and predictable scares them. Sigma men don't want to be stuck in a rut, so they take risks and make more bold decisions that can sometimes even lead to failure. But they are always willing to try new things. They would rather fail than not take a chance at all. Though they will not look for trouble, Sigma men won't back down and will fight back if needed. 8. They have a high level of self-awareness. One of the key characteristics of Sigmas is their tendency for introspection. Sigmas concentrate on themselves and how the activities they take influence the sensations that they experience, in contrast to alphas, who choose to display their dominance for others to notice. Sigmas are completely conscious of their capabilities, are cognizant of the weaknesses they possess, and are working actively to better themselves. Sigma men don't spend their time hanging out with other people. Rather, they isolate themselves in order to discover methods to improve themselves and steer clear of repeating the errors they've already made. Although they may not be very socially adept, they are nevertheless able to handle difficult circumstances in a way that eliminates the need for drama. Furthermore, they will also value it when someone acknowledges them for their real self rather than what others say. Sigmas may still find themselves into difficulties despite the fact that they are self-aware. Nonetheless, it is the way in which they respond to these challenges that sets them apart from other individuals. They consistently keep things from spiraling out of control. Even though Sigma men do not shy away from confrontation, they do their best to avoid it whenever possible so that they may spare oneself the hassle. 9. They take full responsibility of their own destiny. They are always successful in everything they do, as they always understand what must be done, and when it has to be done. Sigma guys are autonomous self-starters who are always excellent in all that they undertake. They are not going to give up or admit defeat just because someone advised them that they should. They don't bother asking other people for guidance and never need someone to instruct them on how to proceed. They have a lot of drive, and they are the ones in charge of their own destiny. Even if nobody is paying attention to them, they will not try to compel other people to comprehend their views, but their principles and beliefs will not waver. Since Sigma guys do not adapt to conventions and will develop a life that better matches their individuality, you can easily distinguish them from the pack. Sigma men focus on their objectives, but regular people need to have a road given out for them to take, and if there is no course, they begin to roam about aimlessly. It makes no difference whatever path people pick, even if it deviates significantly from the norm. Provided they accomplish what they set out to do, they are free to chart their own course fully.